Hello everybody and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Guapish Rule 34, and I'm so angry today because that's right, this week it's hate week, everyone. We're gonna be a bunch of fucking haters this entire episode, and there's nothing you can do to stop us. Joining me is our number one hater, Nico.
What's up?
I hate that you did that outdated fucking meme. Also joining us are tied for first place hater, Jackson.
I literally am fucking seething right now, and I'm not even coping.
That is insane. And also joining us is our number one molder, Dylan.
I don't know what molding is, but
Very good, very good. This first topic, guys, is not going to be much hating. We're gonna talk a bit about that old presidential debate that happened.
Woo.
Holy shit.
Trump versus Biden.
Just because it's kind of a noteworthy event, and we might as well talk about it. Nico? Since you're the only other person who watched it, I'm curious what you thought of it.
You know, it was pretty touch and go there for a little while, but I feel like old Sleepy Joe was really able to come out on top in the end.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you are in the vast minority. People are losing their goddamn minds. People are in a fucking panic over Biden's performance. It's pretty fucking dire, honestly. Lots and lots of people are calling on him to drop out of the race. I think literally immediately after the debate, both CNN and NBC were saying he should just drop out. The very next morning, I want to say it was like the Wall Street Journal and Time Magazine were talking about him having to drop out. I think today, New York Times put out an article saying he should drop out.
Also, who the fuck would even go in his place?
Andrew Yang, my boy!
It's hard to say. The thing is, Kamala Harris, his vice president, even more unpopular than him, so they have to find a way to get her out of there too. It's also questionable if it's even legal for them to, like, get him to drop out, and then, you know, go with someone else. Like, from what I hear is, like, the only way he can really get out is he has to choose to drop out himself. They have no way of forcing him out. And then even if he does drop out, there are a handful of states where they're like ballot making essentially is over. They cannot change the names on the ballots anymore. So if he does drop out, whoever replaces him is pretty much fucked, because the only way they would get votes is if people write in their name.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I think good old President Biden should take the hint, to be honest.
I just don't know if he can is the problem. It just kind of seems like this is something you see with dementia patients, where they are very aggressively confident in the fact that they don't have dementia, and they take great offense to the implication they do.
True.
And he seems to have surrounded himself with a lot of yes men who are just going to continue to enable him to be president. And then a little bit of a news update. At 10 a.m. this morning, former Fox anchor Bill O'Reilly tweeted out that the decision has been made that he will quit the campaign. I have no idea how trustworthy that information is, but I figured I'd throw that out there since he is a news person.
I trust him, honestly.
Right.
O'Reilly's has always done good by me, so I trust anyone with that name.
Yeah. I find it funny how, like, the narrative around the debate by a lot of people has been that, like, Biden seemed old and Trump lied a bunch. But Biden
Tanner,
was
do you
lying.
not think that Trump took a couple of, like, cognitive ability tests and they did in fact tell him that he scored perfectly, and one of the people administrating it did in fact tell him that they've never even seen someone ace it?
I think the never even seen someone ace it part is exaggerated. We do know for a fact that he took cognitive tests.
Okay.
So,
do we know if he aced them?
I would hope most people
Presumably.
would ace them. I don't know if it's that much of an accomplishment.
Is that something we can make all presidential candidates take now? Is this a cognitive
I think it's
test?
part of their regular health screenings if they're old enough.
I think we should all take one ourselves and see who's the most mentally fit to take up the mantle of president in the next
There we
10
go.
years.
Guys, from an anonymous source, I saw that 630 people wrote in for Mark Fishbach to run for president. Isn't that insane?
Literally, who is that?
Nico, do you know who it is?
No.
You don't? It's Markiplier.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I just thought it was a
I
little
could have
silly.
sworn his name was Mark, and then his last name was Plier.
Yeah.
I don't know what made you assume that, but no, his last name is in fact Fishbach.
Yeah, I
crazy.
wonder what made him assume that. Anyway, I was just saying the narrative is that, like, Biden is old and Trump lied a bunch, but, like, Biden lied just as much, if not more than Trump. I don't know if they're just saying, oh, those weren't lies, he was just confused and said something that's not true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, either way. I mean, it's really at this point, the way I view it is what is the lesser of two evils. I'm not at all involved in any way in this whole thing. I'm just saying that's how I view this scenario.
I am aggressively opposed to the lesser of two evils worldview, so
Sorry, I apologize for my...
I think only vote for people that you actually want to be president.
That's true.
Honestly, I feel like I've just kind of been tainted on Trump so much at this point, you know, because as I was watching the fucking debate, I was wanting him to say way crazier shit, okay? Like, you know, he does, like, his whole, like, braggadocious things, but I want him to go even further, alright? When he's talking about how, like, I have the biggest heart out of anyone else here on stage, I want him to, you know, like, push that as much as he can. Like, you can crack me open right now like a Kinder Egg and take a look. You'll see a big heart. Obviously, we're not gonna do it, but you know it's true. You know, just that kind of shit.
I think it was a smart move on his part to be a bit more reserved, because like one of the things a lot of people mention is that one of the reasons he lost the debates back in 2020 is that he was too aggressive and it came across like him bullying Biden.
Yeah.
So him shutting up and letting Biden fall on his own sword was definitely the right move, which is ironic because, like, you know, the whole rules of this debate was that, like, there were very strict time limits on answers, and they would shut off the other person's mic while one of them is speaking. These were rules that were specifically designed to help Biden in this debate, and they arguably helped Trump. Because he wasn't able to constantly interrupt and, like, name call Biden the whole time. And so it just kind of wound up making Trump look more professional, and it allowed Biden's, you know, lapses in memory, misspeaks, straight up freezes, just stand out all the more.
How old is Biden?
He's 86,
God
I want to say.
Damn, what the fuck? Jesus.
He's up there.
God.
Yeah, and that's another thing I've noticed. So, like, you know, I and people who've been paying attention have known that Biden has been in a serious state of mental decline for years now, but the mainstream media has been insisting that this isn't true. Literally just last week, his press secretary made up the term cheap fake, which is supposed to mean, I guess, unedited videos of Biden that make him look bad, but you know, it's a catchy name to make it seem like you're supposed to treat that as illegitimate or something. And so a lot of left-leaning people and a lot of Biden supporters who believed the news when they said, oh, he's still as sharp as ever, don't believe what the right-wingers are saying about his mind, watched this debate and had that entire narrative just dismantle in front of their very eyes.
You know, one thing I will at the very least give the debate organizers a little credit for here is that I feel like they didn't treat Biden with, like, as much of kitty gloves as I was expecting them to. Like, I was fully expecting them to throw some real fucking softballs at him the entire time, you know, just shit like, President Biden, how was your day? You have unlimited time to answer.
I think to me, it kind of seems like they pretty quickly realized it was going to be a shit show no matter what they did. So they just kind of decided, we're just going to ask actual questions and just let it ride. Yeah. Because literally in his first answer, I think it was like he coughed 7 times, he mixed up a couple of words, and he had like a 3-second pause between sentences. Like, it was bad from the rip.
Unfortunate, but it's exactly how I envisioned it nonetheless.
They should make, like, some fucking presidential trading cards that have, like, their stats on them, you know, like baseball cards.
That'd be
Whoa, Joe
fun.
Biden, he's coughed 40 times in all of his fucking debates he's had so far this year.
That's pretty good. I don't like, Joe Biden does this smile, which is, like, literally diagonal, and it creeps me the fuck out. I don't know how he does it or why, but
he's being a little coy.
Yeah, it's Joker shit, dude. I'm looking at this polling on the 538 website about polling people about before and after the debate and what they thought. So who won and lost the debate? 60% of people say Trump won, 20% say Biden won. 20% of people in America you can get to agree to literally anything is what that tells me. I think the craziest thing to me is gaining or losing support. Prior to the debate, amongst the people they polled, Biden had 48.2% people considering to vote for him. That went down to 46.7%, so a 1.5% drop. For context, since this is a race between two people who have already been president, and we are less than 6 months away from the election, a 1.5% drop in support is actually massive. Like, that is ridiculous right there.
One thing I'm wondering, though, here...
Yeah.
If, like, the two candidates, while they were up on stage there, just started, like, running at each other to try to, like, you know, do them in the old-fashioned way, what do their Secret Service members do about that situation? Are they allowed to, like, gun down the other president?
I'd assume they would try to pull them off of each other.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know why this escalated.
I don't think the Secret Service
so
are allowed to
fast.
shoot the other president.
But they're supposed to protect their president at all costs, man.
I'm sure that could
I
be
think
done
they're
without
supposed
guns.
to protect all presidents. I don't know about the organization of the Secret Service, admittedly. I wouldn't assume that it's like a completely different group of people and different like leadership structure for each president.
Aren't they like assigned their own crew or whatever, though?
Yeah, they have
Yes.
like specific agents, but I assume those agents are still like have the same bosses and shit.
Okay.
But I don't
So,
know.
like, let's say George W. like comes at you, Tane, and starts attacking you. If you fight back, are his Secret Service members just gonna blast you?
I mean, they might.
Yeah.
Are they just gonna skip immediately to guns? Why are we just assuming they're gonna immediately shoot you? Like,
I mean, listen, it's the president, man. They gotta do what they can to
Former
keep that
president.
guy. Yeah. Well, you still call him the president.
I don't know. I feel like former President George W. Bush makes sense.
Yeah, you can do that.
There we go. See, it worked out.
I guess that's our debate covered. Nico, did this debate change your mind?
Change it from what?
From whatever it was before.
No, I wouldn't say so. I feel like it would just really reinforce all of my thoughts, I'd say.
Damn, that's crazy.
I would have never guessed. I didn't even have to watch it.
Well, that's our political talk. See you guys next time. I probably won't bring up politics until the next debate in September. Unless Biden does pull out of the race, then we'll be talking politics again next week.
Oh,
Let's get my boy Andrew Yang in the White House. Come on, come on!
gang.
And we're moving on to Hater Week!
Ooh. I mean,
This one's all about fucking hate, and this was inspired by The Boys Season 4.
Oh boy.
Let me give a slight caveat to this rant. I have not seen The Boys Season 4. I am going entirely off of hearsay.
Uh-oh.
You're saying that you haven't
The
seen the
best
scene
kind.
yet where fucking Homelander makes those two guys suck each other's dicks?
No, I haven't seen that scene. That sounds very funny, though.
Okay.
So, I don't know. How many of you guys have even seen any of The Boys?
Not I.
I saw the first 2 seasons.
I've seen like a few episodes.
Cool.
I feel left out.
Anyway, basically there's this big battle happening online where people on the right are saying, man, season 4 has gotten really heavy-handed with the politics, and it feels like it's just going after us. And then left-wingers are replying, it was making fun of you the whole time, and calling right-wingers stupid, and saying they don't have media literacy, and all this, and I have this Vox article here by one Alex Abad Santos. The whole time, The Boys has been making fun of Trumpers the whole time. Why fans keep missing the point of The Boys. So, Alex, you're never going to listen to this episode. But if someone knows this man, presumably a man, yeah, this man, try and send this to him. fuck you. Honestly, you are a fucking retard. You're one of the dumbest people on the planet, for real. Nobody, and obviously, listen, there's lots of people out there, you can find somebody like this, but nobody didn't realize what the message of The Boys was, what the politics of its writers were, who they were making fun of. Okay? The argument is that it has become heavy-handed and less subtle than it used to be. And I know you guys are saying, oh, it was never subtle. And I agree, compared to fucking, West Wing or whatever the fuck, The Boys isn't subtle. But it was still entertaining despite having those things in it. And the complaint people are making is that it's now prioritizing sending this message over the actual entertainment value of the show. And just for some bona fides in this rant here, I believe it was about a month ago, maybe a month and a half, I watched through the 3 seasons of The Boys in anticipation of season 4. And after watching season 3, I specifically said, I liked season 3, but I'm kind of worried about season 4 because it seems like they are embracing the worst elements of the comic, which is really heavy-handed political statements and a complete lack of subtlety. I called that this was going to happen in season 4, and so this is not me being a reactionary, this is not me seeing what other people are saying about season 4 and just assuming it's true. We saw this coming, it's easy to call out, and this just gets into my problem that I see a lot with left-wing people, especially in cultural discussions. They have never talked to someone who politically disagrees with them to such an extent that they literally cannot comprehend what it is even like to have an idea that they do not already have. And so they just create these ridiculous straw men where, literally anyone who disagrees with you in the slightest way, it has to be some sort of cave person that barely learned how to speak English last week, and that's the only way anything makes sense to you. So yeah, fuck you. If you're trying to clown on people for saying The Boys got bad, it did. You're wrong. You're stupid. I'm glad that you can enjoy this show still that has had a marked drop in quality because you agree with the politics. But don't act so fucking shocked when half of the audience says, because the show was entertaining during those first 3 seasons, I could be carried along with politics I don't agree with, but now it's become too much. That is not a ridiculous thing to say. Because, it almost seems like they're trying to say that, it should be impossible for anyone to become a fan of a thing that they politically disagree with. And so, the only way you can be a fan of something that you politically disagree with is if you were somehow stupid enough to be duped by the show or the movie or whatever it is. And that's obviously not true. I listen to The Offspring and Rage Against the Machine. I don't agree with their politics, but they make good music. So even though I fucking listen to Anti-Flag. These are the most one of the most left-wing music groups I've ever heard of, and I like their music. And I vehemently disagree with everything they believe in. So it's fucking possible that if you make a product that's good enough, even if it represents your politics, for other people who disagree with you to see the quality, and still enjoy the thing, in spite of disagreeing with it. It is possible to enjoy things that you may have some sort of fundamental disagreement with. I know this is mind-blowing to so many people out there. But fucking, yeah, that's sort of my, I'm tired, boss.
Alright, we're pushing you off the soapbox, Tanner. We're kicking you on the ground. We're throwing sand in your face now. Fuck you. Shut the fuck up.
But yeah, The Boys. I'll maybe watch season 4. I also might just not watch it, because the fucking show, lead show writer, producer, whoever, did that fucking gay ass shit where he's like, well, if you don't agree with it, don't watch it. Fine, but fuck you. Yikes. Honestly.
Also, he made Homelander force a couple of guys to suck each other's dicks. What's up with that?
I'm cool with that part. That's in character.
Okay.
Any of you guys have any statements about The Boys or have a rant of your own about some media property?
Dude, I've never even seen The Boys.
I love capitalism!
Me too.
I also love capitalism. I love it when great properties have to come to an end because the fucking numbers have to go down because that stupid graph takes a little dip. Oh no. Oops. Guess we don't get any more cool shit anymore. Oh well.
I was fucking literally thinking of this today, where I'm like, man, if I had the money, I would try doing some shit where I, like, start a grocery store, and the name of it would be 15%, and what that means is I only make a 15% profit on every product. And I like, on our website and even like on the fucking walls of the store, we list exactly what our costs are, what our revenue is, how much we buy each of our products for, the exact amount of upcharge we do, and how much profit we make from that. And it only comes out to 15% so that people know I'm not fucking them. Because, like, you know, I'm a free market guy. I like the capitalisms. But when you're taking an economics course in high school or college, the analogies they use to explain the free market is usually like, oh, you have two guys and they're on a desert island. This guy is able to collect 6 coconuts a day, and this guy catches 2 fish. So they agree that they will trade coconuts and fish for 3 coconuts per fish. And, you know, it's like this simplistic thing where, like, when you scale it up, hypothetically, it all works, but the big piece you're missing between the 2 guys on an island engaging in free trade and then us living in this big country with all the corporations and stuff, aside from obviously government, let's say intervention.
Dude, I was just thinking intervention. Let's go.
Yeah, is a lack of transparency. It is basically fucking impossible for the average consumer to know how much a product should reasonably cost, because they don't know how much the company that's selling it to them, they don't know how many they have, they don't know how much it costs them to make, they don't know how much it costs the person who produced it to make, they don't know what kind of wages they're paying the person who produced it. It's just, there's so many layers of obfuscation that by the time you pick up a product on a shelf, they can be charging who knows what, and you have no ability to argue against it because you have no access to the knowledge you would need to argue against it. Another sort of example is that, like people say, oh, we need environmental regulations because corporations will just pollute if we don't. And typically the free market answer is that, well, if companies are polluting and consumers don't want pollution to happen, they will just choose to not buy from those companies. How the fuck are we supposed to know which companies are polluting and how much and all of that shit? And so, like, another idea I have is, like, maybe we need a president to institute essentially, like, a Bureau of Transparency. And this organization's entire job is they just go to every company and they say, hey, you're going to tell us exactly how much you made, how many of your products you make, how much it costs you to make them, how much you're paying in distribution costs, rental, like, you're going to give us every single bit of information of how your business is run, and we are going to make that available to the people so that they can decide if the price you're charging them is fair.
Sounds like a little bit of government overreach, if you ask me.
Bro said, let me invent the fucking bureaucracy bullshit just so that I can push more bureaucracy on all the corporations.
I think, listen, I very much see how it can go wrong. I think,
at the end of the day, it's the lesser of 2 evils, though, you know?
No, I disagree.
Hey, that's what I said earlier.
I think we're kind of in... we're kind of in a state where, like, we're having to balance government overreach and corporate overreach, and we are rapidly... We may even be in a place where corporate overreach is actively more destructive than government overreach.
So what you're saying is, perhaps socialism isn't really that bad, and maybe even communism isn't looking all that terrible at this point.
To be clear, I'm arguing from the standpoint that a free market is good. I'm not saying the government should control any of these corporations' decisions. I'm just saying, like, the government could more effectively than private citizens investigate companies and deliver information to the people.
It's like an accountability thing.
Yeah.
So a free market within reason.
No, because, like, nothing about this makes it not a free market. Like, I don't know. I guess it depends on your perspective. Personally, I don't think it is... I don't think it is, like, a core component of free market economics to allow people to lie. I don't think lying is, like...
It's a legitimate strategy, man.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I also disagree with that statement.
All right, Tanner, we're pushing off the soapbox again. We're smashing over your head this time.
Listen,
so you can't get back onto it.
That one was your fault, though. You goaded me into that one.
So some shit I hate, okay? Here's something that's really been fucking pissing me off recently, okay? So, it's been like a couple months or some shit like this now that YouTube rolled this feature out. And I say feature very loosely, okay? They fucking just completely destroyed their search feature at this point. Like, fucking, like 5 of the videos when you try searching for something will actually be what you're trying to look for, and everything else is just what it's recommending. Just complete fucking random bullshit that has nothing to do with what you just searched for. It's horrendous. I fucking hate this shit.
But, like, if the first 5 are what you're looking for, why do the rest matter?
Because it's not actually what I'm looking for within those first 5 searches is the problem. Like, I'll be trying to find something really specific. I'm like, ooh, it was like kind of this thing. Like, maybe this will, like, come with some results. And it's like, okay, here's 5 things. That's kind of what I'm trying to find, but it's not quite. And then, like, you know, that's it for me. I can't search any further because everything else has nothing to do with that.
I can't say I've run into the same issue.
I agree with Nico. It seems to me... And, like, I don't know, maybe this is just me being conspiracy-brained and seeing patterns where there aren't any. It feels like the internet is getting worse at doing the things it used to, like, be explicitly for. Like, searching and shit.
Yeah, like, if you're just trying to do, like, a Google search or some shit like that now. Now it's like, oh, okay, I have this fucking, like, AI thing that comes up immediately. Then I have to scroll through, like, fucking 4 things of, like, advertised links that they're trying to throw at me. And then eventually I scroll down, like, half the page, and then, oh, there it is, the first, like, actual result I'm looking for.
Yeah, and a lot of the actual, you know, non-sponsor results, they're not even what you're looking for. I don't remember what it was today, but I searched for something... And it just showed me something that's, like, wildly unrelated. I think it had something to do with the election, and it was, like, I searched... I wish I could remember what it was, but I was trying to look up some kind of information about, like, polling or whatever, and then one of the top results was, like, a Washington Post article that was, like, why you shouldn't vote for Trump or whatever. And, like, we know that fucking Google, let's say, manipulates their search engine algorithm in order to... help certain political, candidates, but it's like, that's not what we're fucking here for.
Agreed, dude, agreed.
Dylan, what's a societal problem that grinds your gears?
People with entitlement issues.
Yeah?
I don't.
What do you think about them? Let us fucking hear it, dude.
Do you have any particular examples as well?
No, I told you guys beforehand. I think hating is just bad energy, man. It's bad for you. I don't like to do this.
That's why we're getting it out now. We're gonna be next week is Lovers Week, you know.
If I hate something, it has to be fresh on my brain, or else I just let it go after at least a day. I don't know. It's just like people who think they deserve something just because, or maybe even like. I don't know. I guess another thing that I probably hate is like seeing all these, because I think we did a quiz on it, but I wasn't here for it. Just like the general street knowledge quiz where this guy goes around asking people like, oh, how many states do we have? What's this plus this? Name 5 countries. I don't know. I'm sure that those videos are targeted, but it's also just kind of sad where it's like people just aren't taking education a little bit seriously. I don't fully believe that education is the end-all be-all, but I think people need to be educated enough to not look like an idiot on the internet. I don't know if that's something to hate about, but, you know.
I'd say that's a reasonable thing to hate about. That's a tall order, though. Not look stupid on the internet. Do you know how hard that is?
I do it all the time.
Do you know how often
podcast,
we've looked stupid just in this episode alone?
I wouldn't know. I've only participated in jest, so...
Fair enough. I'm gonna bounce off of, Dylan's point about entitled people and start talking about immigrants.
Yikes, dude, hold on.
I am rapidly radicalizing against illegal immigrants. I genuinely dislike people who cannot speak English and are in this country illegally. I want them gone. So immediately.
What if they don't speak English but they're in the country legally? What about them? I have a coworker.
It depends on why. It depends on why. Is it just like a work visa, or are they a student?
I think they're. I don't know if it's a work visa, but
They're here because they love America, Tanner. That's why.
I think I probably want to get rid of them too.
He's trying to learn English from me, though. He teaches me Spanish, I teach him English. That's the trade-off.
Well, if he, I might give him a pass. In a hypothetical Tanner presidency, we might give him a pass,
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and a big part is, these people are fucking entitled, dude. They're coming up here, they're expecting free shit from the government. Free housing, free food, free phones. You know how often I have immigrants coming up to me? And the weird thing is, these people all have driver's licenses. But, like, you can tell for a fucking fact. They're not citizens, they're not here legally. I don't know what the fuck it means. Literally, like, 60% of the people I interact with in any given day cannot speak English. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And it's making me become real conspiracy-brained about it and whatever. But, let's get the immigrants out of here. Let's kick them out.
Piggybacking off of the entitlement here real quick here, guys. Before Tanner says anything he really regrets.
I don't regret any. I'm speaking the truth.
Dylan, you reminded me of something actually with this whole entitlement thing. So,
let's go.
As you guys may know, the Elden Ring DLC recently dropped here, okay?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
And, as seems to be the case every time the fucking Souls series and shit like that, it starts to pop off on the internet again, we suddenly get this big rush of people who are like, hey, this game's too hard, it needs to be easier, I want to beat this game, I want to experience everything there is in it, but it's just so hard, I can't do it. FromSoft, do something about this. And of course, it's definitely been coming to a head here with this new big DLC, because it's apparently pretty fucking tough. Allegedly, it features like the hardest boss in the entire Souls series, so that's been something that's really been, a big talking point for people recently. And I just don't fucking get it, okay? That's the fucking purpose of these games, okay? They're supposed to be tough, they're supposed to challenge you and really engage the player and shit like that. But people don't want that, okay? They just want to say that they accomplished the game and beat it. They don't actually want to do that shit. They don't want to achieve anything. They're just like, well, I purchased the game, therefore I am entitled to success here. And that's not true. Why the fuck would you play this game if you weren't willing to, meet it on its own terms here, okay? I don't fucking understand.
Yeah, that's why I still haven't beaten Dark Souls 2 to this day, but to be fair, I did not buy that game.
Very true. But hey, you tried, I guess.
I did, I've tried many times, I even reinstalled it. I can't remember, it's not Elden Ring where the game developer literally played it in front of a bunch of people with, like, no armor or abilities or whatever and beat the boss, right? That was another game, wasn't it?
I don't know.
It was some game show, game reveal something, I don't remember. Anyway.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Okay. What say you, Jackson? What do you hate?
Oh, dude, I don't fucking know. I guess auto-regulation bullshit. I think from the perspective of a car enthusiast, there is a massive amount of, this is because of both emissions and safety regulations. They're kind of killing enthusiast cars slowly over time by just making it harder and harder to get things we want. Like, big V8s aren't common anymore because of emissions. We have a bunch of fucking low CC turboed fucking snooze box cars because of emissions. Emissions are killing fucking motorcycles too. There's all sorts of motorcycles that are coming out now that we can't have anymore. Like fucking the 600cc class is like almost entirely dead at this point because of emissions. It fucking stinks. These things barely contribute anything to the actual CO2 problem with our planet that's almost entirely just massive fucking mega corporations dumping metric loads of that shit. They're dumping like our entire fucking lifespan or the CO2 like every fucking second probably. There is nothing we can do about it. It's just fucking stupidity. And I hate that shit. It's really annoying.
What about the thing that happened like yesterday or whatever, Jackson? You had a pretty vehement disagreement or whatever going on yesterday too.
A vehement disagreement? Well, I mean, there was the, if you're trying to fucking segue into the motorcycle topic, I can fucking talk about that.
Might as well, dude. You're already more than halfway there.
Fair enough. Yeah, so I, on Friday, I bought a new motorcycle, and, with buying a new motorcycle, I already had one, so I was going to sell that one. Listed it for a pretty good price. This also kind of segues into Tanner's initial topic about the fucking immigrants. Some guy that didn't speak a single word of English come up to me, to fucking buy my motorcycle. Again, we're like translating with apps through each other because we don't know a word of what each other are saying. He came with like 3 other people in some shitbox car. There was a fucking mom smoking a cigarette with her baby in her hand. Again, nobody is speaking any fucking English at all. I'm trying my best to communicate with this guy, but it doesn't seem like either of us are really understanding each other. Eventually, he ends up, buying the bike. He like takes it for like a quick little ride down the street for our house, and then like, yeah, I'll buy it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I get the title, give it to him. I'm assuming it's all done there, but no, he doesn't have a helmet. So he's trying to fucking give me money to like borrow my helmet, and he just give it back to me later. But that's fucking stupid. I'm not gonna lend him my $400 helmet because he's just gonna steal it. There's no chance. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking do that. You're crazy. Why are you buying a motorcycle without a helmet? That's not my fucking problem. And then he's later trying to get me to have him as a passenger on the motorcycle, like me ride the motorcycle to his house with him as a passenger. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking do that either. I've never had somebody as a passenger, and I'm not gonna do it with some random fucking stranger and drop it off in some place I don't know anything about. That's super sketchy. He keeps like offering me money for it too. It's like $150 he was trying to give me, so I'd ride him to his house. Still, super sketchy. I'm not gonna fucking do that. So I'm done with all of that. I walk inside, I'm like, I can't help you, dude. You can figure it out. You can keep the motorcycle parked outside my house. That's fine, but I'm not gonna fucking help you with anything. So later, I realized because I'm trying to mark the motorcycle as sold on the DMV website, I need the title number, and that's on my registration, and I forgot the registration in the seat of the bike. So I have to go back outside and confront this guy again, and I noticed that he's got one of our neighbors locked up in conversation. She looks completely confused. She has no idea what the fuck's happening. I don't know why he's even trying to get from her. So I come out there, and she's just like completely confused, and she ends up just like walking over and getting her mail, which is what I assume she was intending to do in the first place. And I take over getting fucking stuck from him. I'm like, I'm just trying to get my registration, man, and he's just trying to convince me to take him on the back of on the motorcycle and drive him to his house. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking do that, you creep, bro. And it's like another like 10-15 minute long conversation. I eventually get my registration and tell him to fuck off, and that ends it. And he did end up riding it home, I imagine. I don't know what happened. The bike's not there anymore. It's not my fucking problem. But that was an ordeal. Pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's the other thing. A lot of these people are fucking retards. Like, genuinely, I have 10-15% of them. They just straight up tell me they can't read. So, like, I'm not even able to use, like, translation apps to communicate with them.
Oh.
And fucking, I got robbed by one of them this week at work.
Oh, yeah.
They just walked in, literally ripped the top of one of our demo stations off and ran out the door with it.
Is that hard to do? I imagine it's not.
Apparently not. He fucking did it,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Some
okay,
fat immigrant.
Huh.
Get him out of the country, honestly.
Jesus.
Yeah, I guess leading into that too, a less annoying story, but this is kind of just the fucking dealership experience. With me buying the new motorcycle, of course, I bought the thing brand new from a dealership. And as you guys are all well aware, they like to fucking tack on a million things of bullshit. So I called about the bike on Thursday. I asked about what the out-the-door price is on the thing, and they told me that the website price they had listed is literally what the out-the-door would be. I'm like, okay, that's fucking incredible. I normally expect to have to pay like $2,000 more and just random bullshit when I buy a bike. Well, it's outside of like title and dock fees or whatever, but you can't really avoid those. So I get down there, and the fucking salesman is give me the exact same thing that, oh yeah, no, the bike is exactly what the MSRP is, plus, title and dock. And I'm like, that's totally fine. I'm still fucking game to do that. Let's go. And, of course, we get to the actual process of, like, them giving me the numbers. They have, like, 5 different things they're trying to sell me on, and that adds up to, like, another $5,000 on top of the asking price. I'm like, you're fucking high. I don't need any of this shit. Please fuck off. And it's like a 20-minute conversation between me and the salesperson I was working with, where they had to like keep going back and forth on every single line item, telling me exactly what it was. They like drew some fucking picture on the back of the paper that was like, here's the lifespan of your bike, and this is all the intervals that you'd use these different things you're buying for. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. I'm not buying any of that shit. Fuck off. So eventually they fuck off. They go talk to their sales manager or whatever, and then that guy comes over and he gives me the exact same fucking spiel trying to sell me on all this shit. I'm like, I don't fucking want any of this. Fuck off. Really stupid. I did end up, of course, financing the motorcycle because the interest rate there was like a promotional interest rate from Suzuki that was really good. It's literally fucking 2% over, and I'm financing it for 2 years, so it's going to be like $150. in interest over those 2 years, basically nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be paying off aggressively anyway, so it's not like it really matters. But so I came in there specifically because of that financing offer of 2%. I tell the salesperson that specifically, and of course, the first number they give me when they give me the fucking interest rate back after they did my credit file is 6.5%. I'm like, why is it 6.5? I thought I was getting the 2%. She's like, oh, we can't get you that unless you don't want this service contract for an extra $1,500. I'm like, yeah, I don't want the fucking service contract. I want the 2% interest rate. That's why I'm here. And she, of course, had to do another big long spiel about why I should have that service contract. I'm just desperately trying to get her to fuck off and not tack it on. I spent like 4 hours that day driving back and forth from the dealership and buying the fucking motorcycle. Eventually I did get it. It was like slightly over 10 grand after all things were said and done from the MSRP, and like a little bit over for the title and doc. I didn't get any extra bullshit, got the financing rate. Ridiculous though. I fucking hate dealerships. That shit sucks. Oh my god.
Yeah.
If I didn't have stronger willpower, I would have been like another 4 grand in debt. That shit is so stupid.
Yeah. Do you think dealerships are... Do you think they do that completely of their own volition, or is there like weird regulations that incentivize them to do that shit?
There are numbers that... So there's a couple reasons. So one is they get a bonus obviously off of... They get a percentage bonus off of how much they sell a vehicle for. On top of that, they have to have certain numbers, and it depends on what your dealership consists of. So if it's just a sales dealership, it's obviously only the sales matter. If it's a sales and service dealership, both the sales and service numbers combined need to make the whole dealership look good. So basically, the amount of cars they have in inventory against the amount of cars they have to sell to like be like, this is what our sales rate looks like, this is what our numbers look like, this is our like success rate, that kind of things, this is what our upsell rate looks like. Just kind of like numbers. And also the GM is like super pushy about it too, usually in most cases, because GMs do get bonuses based off of how well their salesmen are selling vehicles and how much. And I'm sure that the amount that they sell total has something to do with the bonus percentage that the GMs get in general as well. It also just depends on if the GM or if the dealership is under an even bigger umbrella corporation or not. So I'm kind of only speaking from a personal dealership perspective. However, that is typically what it is reliant on, is that it's just them trying to make numbers so their dealership looks good and it looks good in the books.
Gotcha.
And leading into that, obviously this might not be the same thing with all dealerships. This one could be different. Also, this is motorcycles and, power sports stuff. It's not cars. So maybe their commission structure is different. But both the sales manager and the salesperson I was talking with were really trying to hit the nail on the head that they're doing this for me. They're trying to sell me all this random shit I don't care about to help me out because, yeah, this fucking Japanese motorcycle, this brand new Japanese motorcycle that is known for reliability because it's a tried and tested engine, apparently is going to fucking fail within the first 2 years, and I need a 5-year service contract for a bike I'm going to sell soon anyways. And they're both trying to tell me that they're just doing this for me. They don't get anything from this. They're just trying to help me. And I'm like, no, you literally get commission off the percentage of the sale. What are you trying to fucking tell me? You don't need to fucking sell me this. I just want the bike, and that's all I'm here for. And I got it. Very 100%.
Stupid. I don't know how much time we have before we want to break off into another segment. I was looking back through the topics, and I did in fact actually find something I hate. And it's in reference to the topic of Disney is destroying everything we know and love. And I know we all aren't even big fans of Star Wars as it is. I can only assume that with how involved even you guys are in pop culture and all that stuff, that you're even aware of, like, Acolyte and all that shit going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a stretch of time where people were just making posts about how, like, we need to go back to the Star Wars Clone Wars days, and, like, the movies when everything didn't make quite as much sense, but more sense than these current movies are making and all that. I don't remember if I said it to any of you guys here. I remember at one point I was watching, because I sent you guys the video for, like, the interviews or whatever, and it was basically just the creators of the Acolyte show saying, like, C-3PO and R2-D2 are lesbians, like a lesbian couple, and they were... And I remember talking this extensively with one of my coworkers, but it was like how saying there was like a cult of witches that used the Force to become pregnant, when the only person in Star Wars lore, if you want to call it that, was like Darth Sidious, who was able to bring somebody back to life with Force powers, and I think Anakin was like the only other person able to do that, and so now they're just creating stuff out of midair, but it's just I don't even know. I mean, I can't say it's Disney. It's really sad that I can't remember the guy who created Star Wars. Lucas
Ledet.
Luke Skywalker?
No, Tanner, help me out here. You're my only hope.
Sorry, what's
Mark
the question?
Hamill?
Creator of Star Wars. It was
George Lucas?
George Lucas. I knew Lucas was his last name.
Isn't Darth Sidious the guy who established the rule of two?
No, the rule of two was a thing long before him. It was, I think it was established by Darth Bane.
Darth Bane, yeah, that sounds about right.
Gotcha. But yeah, I mean, because I think I heard the show Obi-Wan did okay. Ahsoka is kind of whatever, but like Acolyte, I guess, just really takes the cake with Destroy. And it's just like Disney owns so much like TVs or movies and shows and like programs and networks now that it's just like I can see them wanting to, and this is kind of what Tanner was talking about earlier, where they're going to prioritize a message over the actual entertainment value of the show, which is 1000% what I think Acolyte is at this point. They don't care about what Star Wars is or was. They just care about pressing their own agenda in a show so they can advertise it to the most amount of people they think they're going to get so they can make the most money off of it. And this is the sad reality we are reaching with shows and maybe movies. But anyway, regardless, I don't know if that was going to really branch off anything. That was very specific, but that's another thing I guess I could say that I hate.
CP3 is a bottom, right? Are we all in agreement on that?
C-3PO, you son of a bitch, say his name right! This is the last time! I hate
You know what's funny is that the actor who plays C-3PO isn't gay.
What?
Crazy how that works.
I know, right? He's married to a woman.
Whoa.
Like a real one?
Yeah, not even a robot one. I have not watched any of the Star Wars shows since like Mandalorian season 3, I think. Maybe season 2.
I heard the Mandalorian first couple of seasons were good, but I heard like the most recent one was dog shit.
I haven't heard anything about that. I've heard Andor was really good, and then most of this shit is bad.
I kind of want to actually go back and watch Clone Wars in its entirety, because I did in fact not watch it beginning to end. I'm almost tempted to watch Star Wars Rebels, but I feel like that'd be a blunder on my part, so I'm gonna think about that one. I thought it was okay.
I didn't hate Rebels nearly as much as the internet does. It very much is more child-oriented than Clone Wars.
100%.
Which equals bad.
Sure. Like, Clone Wars is, like, I'd say aimed at 10 to 13-year-olds would be its primary demographic. Rebels is definitely 7 to 10-year-olds.
I can see
maybe
that.
younger.
Outside of you, I've been recommended to watch The Bad Batch by a couple of people, so I should also probably get around to watching that eventually, I suppose.
In spite of, my dislike of the female clone character, I like the 2 seasons of Bad Batch I did see. I haven't seen the latest season, though.
Ah, gotcha. Do we have anything else we hate? We started to get into something we loved there for a second.
I hate fat people for sure, but like,
Nico,
it doesn't really
stop
extend
it.
too much beyond that.
Nico, you can't.
What?
No thing, never mind.
Okay.
I guess what we're gonna get into our next segment then, which was also inspired by hatred partially. We're gonna be placing most the social media sites I know about on an IQ scale. So everyone understands how an IQ distribution curve works. We got 100 average intelligence right here in the middle. We got a couple standard deviations. You got 85 to 100, below average, 70 to 85, retarded, 55 to 70. I think you're in a vegetative state at that, and if you're below 55, I'm pretty sure you're just dead. And then, above average, I don't know if it's genius at 115 to 130. Maybe it is. Genius, super genius, and then if you're over 145, I'm pretty sure you're a god.
When you're currently fucking toad breaking at the FBI.
Yeah, exactly. They're actually listening to this one right now to see what kind of shit we're talking about. let's kick it off with the site that I that most inspired me to do this, which is Reddit. I fucking despise Reddit so
I think
much.
it evens
God,
out, you know, with the stupid stuff and
it doesn't.
You don't think it? I don't use Reddit.
I don't think it does. In my opinion, Reddit has by far the dumbest people I've ever seen on the internet. I want to put them in between 70 and 85.
Reddit is pretty terrible. I think that there's like a really big thing that people often fail to take into account with Reddit, though, is that I think that the average Redditor is much younger than people expect them to be. Like,
yeah,
I feel like most people think, okay, yeah, there's like another sensible, like, adult around my age or some shit like that. But no, I think a lot of them are children.
I don't know. Reddit feels like an old site to me, though. Like, are the kids really getting Reddit accounts?
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised. Everybody, yeah, I don't know.
Literally, I browsed, when I played Battlecats a lot, I browsed the Battlecats subreddit relatively regularly, and it is literally just a fucking daycare there. So these are kids that are playing some niche mobile game on fucking Reddit, and they're talking about it on Reddit. Why Reddit? It's very strange, but they're doing it. There's lots of kids on that site.
I think even if it is children, I still want to put it low.
Kids aren't very smart.
Yeah, very true.
But I also want to, like, balance it out, because half the time when I want to find some, like, piece of information, I use fucking Reddit, and it is vastly better at general. Like, I legitimately, it's kind of a meme nowadays, and kind of goes into what Nico was talking about with Google, but most people just put fucking Reddit at the end of their search query, because that helps them actually find what they need over, you know, actually figuring it out from some other, like, random forum. Reddit has a lot of bad things, but it also does a lot of good for, like, debugging and just, like, you know, general, like, community support kind of things.
Yeah.
That's true enough.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. Like, the amount of times when I've, like, tried looking for some random fucking thing, like, even my fucking just, like, AEC, where I'm like, I need to know, like, a good one to buy. I have literally no knowledge on this whatsoever. I'll just, like, look up on Reddit to see what people recommend there, you know? Like, there's definitely some good shit on there, I think.
How badly are we holding the presence of bots against sites?
I feel like we really shouldn't really take those into account.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really hard to rank any of these on a fucking IQ scale, but just because all of these are so broad in their scope, outside of shit like iFunny, which are literally just fucking drooling retards that use it, but most of these are just like regular people use the site, and it's kind of hard to like.
I think we're gonna just we're gonna have to. You know, if nuance is going to make this
like
too hard,
a 1 to 10 scale on how good the site is, basically.
Yeah, let's boil it down to vibes then. If we're going to be injecting too much nuance into this, I'm thinking you guys convince me. I'm willing to go between 85 and 100.
I think that's fair.
50-50 on Reddit.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay. What one? Well, let's do Vine. Let's do an extinct one.
I think that they're all retards. I failed to see how so many people could find comedy in like a 6-second thing, you know?
I think Nico's the retard here, personally.
You
Now,
just have nostalgia, Jackson. You're clouded by it, man.
I literally never used Vine. I never one time downloaded the fucking app.
Neither did I. Since they're basically the same thing, we're gonna put Vine and TikTok. We're gonna place them on there at the same time. I don't know if I think Vine is smarter than TikTok, though.
It's not.
I would maybe say it actually might be, just because it was such a phenomenon back in the day. It didn't last very long. TikTok is like kind of just ubiquitous social media at this point. It got to like a level far past what Vine ever did. Basically everybody uses TikTok at this point, and it's like scary to even think that like some people just use TikTok as like a search engine. Like it's where they get all their information from.
God.
And also every time I use TikTok, I literally feel like I'm losing IQ points. I put Vine above TikTok.
The thing for me is that, like, I agree. I don't watch TikTok ever, but I watch Snapchat's fucking TikTok ripoff thing, and yes, I agree. It actively feels like I'm losing IQ points, but strangely enough, I kind of feel like TikTok is just dead average.
I hard fucking disagree. I think this shit is absolutely on the lower end of the scale.
Like lower?
Yes, I think it's absolutely lower than Reddit.
Which is sad because like basically everybody uses it at this point.
I'm about 50-50 on TikTok.
I would put it dead average as well. I'd put dead average and Vine like maybe a little higher. There was some clever stuff on Vine. Like people were actually, because Vine was like the first of its kind with like a short form content, so people were pretty creative with what they were doing with that restriction. And I think it actually, came to like actually be a pretty creative platform for the most part. And then it didn't live very long, so it didn't really get to like fall from grace like a lot of other ones do.
Yeah. Like, once Vine died, some people who got famous on Vine were able to parlay that into more general popularity. When TikTok goes, I don't think anyone's spinning that out into, like, a career or anything.
I would disagree. There are a lot of people that use TikTok that also have massive followings on other social media platforms, primarily YouTube. It's pretty much, like, ubiquitous at this point that if you have a popular Vine channel or TikTok channel, you have a YouTube channel as well, because you don't make like fuck all money on TikTok, so people basically just like re-upload their shit on YouTube and make like slightly more longer form content there as well. Like basically every large TikToker does that.
Yeah. I think the thing with TikTok is also like it's very dependent on what your algorithm ends up being.
True.
Yeah.
Dude, I learned about some great things on there, I heard all about, like, the Arctic fucking ruins and shit like that. That stuff's pretty sweet. They have pyramids up there. Are you guys aware of that?
Yeah, I saw it in Watchmen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nico, you seem to be the main one disagreeing with us here. Do you think it's below Reddit?
Yes. Hard agree.
Crazy.
It is below Reddit.
I would disagree. I mean, well, I don't like the Reddit's placement in general. I'd place TikTok above the placement of Reddit, but I'd also place Reddit higher.
Okay.
Personally.
Dylan, where do you think TikTok is?
I'm about 50-50. I mean, I think dispersed between what I normally see is it's usually like some kind of animal something or some high-end cooking thing. It's like really where it goes. Or I just watch dumb people getting arrested for dumb things, so that's why I say 50-50.
Okay,
yeah,
my
algorithm is always just fucking retard shit, like some guy making some elf dance in the woods or something, or some guy pretending to be a wizard running through wizards.
Your guys' like exposure sounds vastly different from mine. Mine is more like comedians and high-end cooking and like all that, and maybe like the occasional funny animals video, but like nothing...
mine is just pure brain rot. I got like fish of the week shit popping up.
What the fuck?
Yeah, mine is like cartel executions.
Okay.
Anyway, it sounds awful. I understand your perspective, but I do not see it, unfortunately.
I'm kind of thinking TikTok, dead in the middle, Vine, 5% higher.
Sure. I would put it a decent amount higher than TikTok. I think it's a lot more clever than TikTok.
Oh yeah, all those clever individuals like Welvin DeGreat, yeah, the real genius is there.
Well, this is also a fucking social media tier list here. We've got to like take some leniency in our scope. I think
okay, we're gonna leave it like that. Let's do fucking LinkedIn.
Never used it.
I mean, I don't use fucking LinkedIn for like the social purpose at all. I use it to like apply for jobs, and that's about it.
Right.
The social aspect is dire, though.
Yeah, the people who are using LinkedIn as a form of social media, I think they might be more insane and brain rotted than Facebook users.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's not super far off. Everyone there just sounds really sad and desperate, is how I describe it. Or they're just really confident about things that are just absurdly wrong, and I don't know how they ever come to those conclusions. I'd put it at like a nice 85, maybe even lower.
Really? The thing is, while I think they're like out of their fucking minds, I don't necessarily see them as stupid, because at the very least, they are most likely employed or want to be. And
generally, their employment is like higher level in the sense of like they're doing some office stuff. They're not just doing like day labor.
Right? Yeah, which is a lot more than you can say for most of these sites.
Mm-hmm.
True.
I kind of want to just... Maybe the crazy puts them like in between TikTok and Reddit for me.
I'd put it below Reddit personally.
Below
but...
Reddit. I'll default to you. I have a
There we
feeling
go.
you use this site a lot more than me.
I really don't. I open it up every once in a while to like check if people have tried to connect with me or something, and then I'll see like the top 2 posts occasionally.
Dylan, choose one.
Duh, iFunny.
55.
I mean, yeah. Does
fair.
anyone have an argument for why iFunny is not going to be the bottom?
No, I got a lot of shade from Nico when I used it that he's like, it's all just second or third hand content, and you know, it's not even good.
Dog shit quality.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I used iFunny as well, because I was of course also stuck on it for a bit. I eventually switched over to getting my memes from Reddit, like in high school or whatever.
That's what Nico was telling me to do.
Yeah, and it's literally, whenever I browsed Reddit, it was always just, iFunny was just re-uploading shit from Reddit. That was just 95% of the content. And the other 5% were, there's like the big iFunniers or whatever they call them. And they're always in some fucking drama about being pedophiles. It was constant. I was like, 5 to 10%
Classic.
of every post I saw was just some drama about some big person that re-uploads bullshit being a pedophile. It was insane. I don't know why there was so much of that, but Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Very funny. It's probably because there's so many children on that site. So I think we're happy leaving it there.
Fair enough.
Let's do fucking God, I don't know. Nico, you call out one.
Yeah, let's go for Kick next.
Which one?
The one spelled correctly.
Okay.
What is Kick?
So
Kick is a Twitch rival. It's a live streaming platform.
basically, all the people who get banned on Twitch go to Kick.
Or if they're specifically trying to make gambling content almost exclusively. Because that's all Kick really is just people fucking sitting there doing slots on online casinos.
Yeah.
And if they're not doing that, it's because they got fucking banned on Twitch.
That's some low IQ shit.
That's some high IQ shit.
I
dude.
hard
Are you kidding
disagree.
me?
yeah, they're
This
fucking
shit
gambling,
is-
145.
Yeah, this is like way low on the list here.
Yeah, this is like slightly above iFunny
I was
personally.
gonna say, this should go slightly above iFunny.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking rough on Twitch. Even just the concept of what Twitch or Kick is as a service. I like the idea of them making a rival to Twitch because Twitch definitely needs some competition. And from like a technology standpoint, it's fine, but the way they handle things is really rough. I like their goal of like trying to get people, like the average, streamer to like make some decent money off of it, but it just doesn't make any financial sense at all. And I'm sure they're just hemorrhaging money trying to get users, and it's just not going to work.
100%.
Bummer. Let's do the other Kick.
I've only used Kick once, and I think my general idea behind it was this is where people go for if they want to have sex time.
This is where people go if they want to pick up children. This is right next to iFunny as well. They're all in a big bundle. I use
is,
Kick
in
all
fact-
the time back in
Kick
like my
was,
ground days.
yeah, back when I was in college and I was on the prowl, Kick is where a lot of my interactions took place. That's the only context I ever used it in. Yeah, I guess it's just people in the horniest states of mind imaginable and scammers. So
Yeah.
Makes sense. And it's all coming together now.
Yeah, it's not even really a social media, it's just a messaging platform, but
yeah.
It sure is.
fucking let's do Mastodon.
Let's do Mastodon.
What is
So,
Mastodon?
Mastodon, I'm kind of torn on. If you had asked me, if you had, Mastodon is a decentralized social media site. It's very in the weeds in terms of like technological stuff. It's like some Web 4.0 bullshit.
Dude, I love Web
If you-
4.0.
If you had asked me several years ago, before Elon bought Twitter, I would have said Mastodon is kind of inherently high IQ because it is incredibly obtuse and the only people who are using it are like massive tech nerds. But then Elon bought Twitter, and so a lot of, the hyper liberals that were like, we need to find a different space than Twitter because Elon Musk is a doo-doo head, they went to Mastodon. And I believe that's mostly what the audience on there now is, which is people like fucking coping and seething over Twitter being owned by Elon.
I still do see it largely in tech communities. It is a large platform. Like a lot of like smaller projects and stuff will use Mastodon as like their primary means of communication. I would still say it's pretty high up there. I've never heard any about that stuff, so I'm just going to completely disregard what you said.
Okay, fair enough.
The IQ of the people who originated there severely outweigh the people who joined.
That's fair enough. I can.
There is still, of course, a large barrier of entry as well. Like just getting like a fucking your own kind of Mastodon server set up is quite the hassle.
Whereabouts do you think it should go then?
I don't think there's going to be much that's higher than this on the list, to be completely honest. I would probably put it like right in the middle, like 130, 145. I don't think it's actually the actual fucking IQ of people, but it's pretty high up there in terms of...
It's the anti-iFunny.
Yeah, basically. Sure. It's like mostly just like a fucking tech forum for most people.
Right. Let's do fucking Truth Social.
Am I correct in saying that Truth sounds like another streaming service?
It's not.
Well,
Truth is Donald Trump's social media site that he started himself.
Put it like 70, I'd say.
It's pretty much exclusively occupied by like hardcore MAGA people.
And they're not a bright bunch. Yeah, I'd probably put him around where Nico said.
I don't know about 70. That seems a bit
Come
harsh
on,
to
guys.
me.
This is me we're talking about. Don't let me in with those freaks, even though I'm claiming to be
Not
one of those
even
freaks.
true.
Like, come on.
They're like the fucking QAnon type people, and those guys are ripe dumbasses.
True, but they're also funny.
Yeah, so... I don't know if I go that far yet. Put it right there is nice.
Yeah.
You can be the higher end of the IQ scale on that one, Tanner. How about that?
I'm not... You guys are letting Nico's fucking Flanderization of me get to you.
How else are we supposed to have fun here?
Fine, next we're gonna put a group that Nico's a part of up on there then.
What's that?
Let's do N Hentai.
What? Oh, there was an N there the whole time? That's crazy.
Right.
I know,
Sneaky little devil.
Jackson, do you ever look at the fucking comments for anything on here?
I will if I see some real depraved shit and I'm curious what people are saying about it.
What the... I don't know how to... How do you rank IQ based on this?
It's just a fucking porn site. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused.
I guess the question is, how intelligent do you think pedophiles are?
Not.
I think they usually have to be pretty crafty, if I'm being honest, Dylan.
I don't want to admit that, but,
You don't want to admit that. You have a confession to make to us?
No, I just don't want to admit... Dude, I'm dumber than a bag of rocks. What are you trying to say right now?
Dude, anyways, I'm too stupid to be a pedophile.
I don't... Just by... this literally just being a porn site, I don't want to put it anything higher than, 85. It is, it's literally just a fucking porn website.
Yes, I guess we're ranking it based on the people who are, using it as a social media, so, doing comments and shit.
Those people are just fucking coomers, so I don't really know what to say about that.
Or maybe they're trying to meme and get some laughs.
Maybe. I'm kind of fine with just slapping it at 85.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, sure.
Want to throw a Pornhub there while we're at it?
Yeah, I'd put Pornhub lower. Every time I see a Pornhub comment, it's just a bunch of people going, "I came," or what's her name?
Yeah, that's the only one I ever see. It's like, what's her
Either
name?
that or people memeing.
Yeah.
Insane.
I kind of want to put it down here with Kick.
I don't think it's that far down.
Yeah, I'd put it right below, right where you had it with Truth.
Okay. Truth.
Glad we got those out of the way. Now I can finally focus.
There we go. Dylan, since you can focus now, which one do you want to do next?
Let's just do Snapchat. Let's get that out of the way.
Okay. So, people who use it just for messaging are probably average to slightly below.
Yes.
The people who are engaging...
Lower.
With, the reels...
AKA
and
Tanner.
public and public Snapchat stories and shit like this, it's pretty dire out there, to be honest.
I think Snapchat's content is stupid as fuck, if I'm gonna be completely honest.
It's really bad.
It's the stuff that isn't reposts is horrific. And like, again, this is some more rage content for you guys. I am so mad at the fact that like I can be looking at this shit and I'm actively aware. I'm like, this is psychological manipulation. I know how it works, and yet I still am not stopping myself for some reason. I'm still watching this abject dog shit. I don't even like watching it. Which is why I'm never gonna get TikTok. I will get sucked in so bad.
Yeah,
dude.
don't do it, Tanner. You're a sucker for sure.
I'm kind of wanting to put it just flat 85.
Sure.
We'll give a little bit of credit to, like, you know, the 80% of Zoomers who just use it for text messaging, but, like, it gets dragged down a decent bit by every other aspect of it.
Yeah, I would
I
agree.
think they should be fine.
All right, Nico.
Instagram, on the other hand.
Oh boy, love me some Instagram.
Instagram is so fucking basic, I kind of just want to put it at average.
Yeah.
I think something really funny about Instagram, right? And people on TikTok like to make jokes about this all the time, but Instagram is really fucking racist.
Yeah.
Like, to a really absurd degree, like comically
Yeah,
so.
it's racist,
How?
and all of the fucking comments you see are fucking vile as well.
It is fucking. It is actually just a cesspool on that website.
I guess my Instagram is entirely different from your guys's because I have no clue what you're talking
Well,
about.
I don't even use Instagram, and this is all just hearsay for me. But obviously, Nico's corroborating
Yeah.
it. But yeah, no, it's just I don't know if there's just like content filtering or something. But like the comments on Reels and stuff, and some posts is just horrendous. Like people will literally, I'll see some like insanely racist shit on TikTok, and then all the comments would be like, "This would go fucking insanely hard on Instagram." People would go fucking ballistic for this on Reels. This would be like top fucking trending.
Yeah, I honestly think on this scale I'd actually put Instagram above Vine and TikTok, but again, this sounds like we are having two completely different experiences with the same social media site.
Instagram is such like a generic social media site at this point too. I would definitely put it like above average. I would say I think it's better than TikTok and Vine.
I think we need more generic and average, or generic, not average, sorry, because I feel like all these other social media sites have too much going for them, you know?
They got too, they're too specific, you mean?
Well, I think they're all trying to cover the same bases all at the same time, and they're vying for people's attention, and that is ultimately
How is
bringing
the solution
them
to
down.
that more generic?
That
That doesn't make any sense.
I think just being straightforward and simplistic is
Oh,
probably
okay.
the optimal
That's what you
path
mean.
here. That's what that's what I'm trying to get
Simplistic, okay.
at. Simplicity, yes.
Is it like smart racism, guys? Like, are they citing FBI
No,
crime
absolutely
statistics?
not.
No, it's just dumb
Unfortunate.
Zoomer stuff.
Unfortunate.
I say let's just put it at Vine then.
Fine.
There's so many Coomers on there too, though.
Yeah,
And so
and
many
well,
women use it.
Huh.
but it's also just like the generic social media side of this one. Like if we're talking about like what is the like ubiquitous generic social media, it's Instagram nowadays.
Yeah.
So I still would lean
Okay.
it towards just the average IQ.
Everybody be sending me Instagram links. Like, come on.
I'm gonna
I'd
put
still
it at.
I'd still
I'm
put it
gonna
above
put-
Vine.
Okay. I'm gonna, since you have more experience with it than me, I'll put it slightly above
There we
Vine.
go.
Let's go.
Let's do the owners of Instagram, Facebook. This one's pretty dire, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, given all the AI stuff recently, well, the big thing is that the only people that use Facebook nowadays are just a bunch of old farts that used it as it, was the primary social media back in the day, and they just never got off it. And it's pretty rough. Like, it'll be nice for, like, there's some group content and stuff that you can do and interact with, that's fine, but general social media prowess, it's really fucking bad. It is just
Yeah, I can't. Every time I
truly
get on
awful.
Facebook, I hear somebody complaining about something or somebody died or something, and it's just stuff I don't necessarily care about.
I'm gonna be honest, man. My perception of Facebook is so bad, I kind of want to put it below iFunny.
Don't
I
put it
would-
below iFunny.
I would put it slightly above
Yeah, I
iFunny
would too.
personally.
I'll leave it. I don't really use Facebook, so I'll leave it up to you guys, I suppose.
I mean, most of us don't really use any of these, to be honest.
I only
When I-
use
even when
Facebook for
I-
Marketplace.
Even when I was on Facebook most of the time, it was like playing games, and then the only other time I continued to use Facebook was through Messenger, and that was it.
Yeah. I'm fine with leaving it right
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
And so with that, let's talk about one that we do all actually use, though. Let's go.
I know.
Sure, why not Discord?
What was
I was
the other
gonna
one?
say YouTube, but yeah, we can go Discord.
I immediately thought of Discord first as well, fairly enough.
Discord.
This is another 50-50.
The thing is, because it's segmented into communities, it's so hard to say. It's so hard to generalize it at all. Because at least in a lot of these other sites, you can still randomly happen upon, everyone. But on Discord, you're, like, exclusively interacting with, like, your immediate friend groups or, big YouTube communities you're interested in. Right. And now that I say that out loud, that means you're almost exclusively interacting with some of the dumbest people alive.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
I don't know.
Like, I'm in a...
It is also just like a self-perpetuating fucking, what's it called? Not like a circle jerk, but like the fancier term for that.
Yeah.
Echo chamber. You're like in a self-perpetuating
yeah.
echo chamber constantly.
Yeah, like, I'm in a couple of Discords for, like, big YouTubers who I Patreon for, and... holy fucking shit, the people in those channels are just so fucking dumb.
I feel like they're kind of on par with N-hentai gooners and Snapchat fiends.
There is a colossal amount of porn on Discord.
Yeah.
And there's also, this is something we haven't even touched on with Discord. The e-dating bullshit, there are so many fucking servers that are entirely dedicated to e-dating. It is a massive thing, like a
I've
huge
literally
market.
Never heard of this.
I have joined a couple, not because I'm interested in fucking e-dating, but just because...
I swear that's not why. That's not why I joined them.
Well, no, because when I initially bought Nitro for the first time, I was interested in just joining a million servers so I could get all their emotes. And I would see my friends post an emote, and you can click on them, and it'll show you what server it's from. And then I joined those servers because I want that emote. And I joined a lot of those stupid fucking e-dating bullshit ones, and I just mute them and put them in a folder and never interact with them. But yeah, there's a ton of that, and it's also like a massive fucking like sex ring for like grooming and bullshit because of it too. It's pretty fucking horrible. I mean, it's just what's gonna happen with a bunch of kids using social media site and there's dating on it. You can't, they're not gonna like have like to upload your ID in all these servers. Yeah, it's rough. I think the placement's fine right now.
Yeah, it like basically in between Pornhub and N-hentai.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, we all know and love
Let's do
Discord
YouTube
for.
then.
YouTube has to be like the most 50-50 of all, because I feel like there's a lot of useful stuff you can search up that's like relevant to you that you need access to. And then there's just random ass content that makes zero sense as to why it exists on YouTube, and you felt like you got dumber for accidentally watching it.
I watch so many video essays that I am heavily biased that I kinda see YouTube as being probably mid-high.
Yeah, I'd say that I definitely
Sure.
agree with that assessment.
Somewhere around the middle is fine by me, is all I'm saying.
Because, like, even shorts, which typically, that style of content is the absolute dredges, I think shorts on YouTube aren't that bad.
Yeah, just generally it seems like there's a significantly higher bar on YouTube when it comes to, like, content than any of these other things. It's been around so much longer. It's very well established. So what you need to do in order to really stand on YouTube is so much bigger than any of these other platforms at this point.
I think something that goes into it as well is because of the massive rise of short-form content, when you want to get on YouTube, primarily if you're trying to make some low-effort bullshit you're just pumping out, most of the time people just post it on something like TikTok or whatever. So if somebody's trying to actively post something on YouTube, it's generally going to just be higher quality because, they have to make like a longer form like piece of content, which I think just inherently raises the bar for it.
Yeah. I think YouTube probably has the better algorithm of most of these, so like the cream rises to the top a lot better on YouTube.
Right.
Like obviously we can all think of examples of like abject dog shit that gets views on YouTube, but I think it's not nearly as widespread as other sites.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think its placement right now is pretty solid.
Right.
If anything, I wouldn't mind raising it a little more.
I can agree with that. Do you guys?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Let's put it around here. I kind of think right there.
Okay.
That one's for you, Wendigoon. Let's do fucking Threads, actually. You know what, actually, let's get all of the Twitter and Twitter clones out of the way.
I appreciate that you have Twitter
so
and X on here because they are so substantially different from one another.
Yeah, I was thinking about that shit. So this is pre-Elon.
No clue. I never used Twitter and I never liked it, so...
Honestly, I've been fucking on X probably longer than I've used regular Twitter. And I kind of don't really remember what regular Twitter was like. So I don't have much of an opinion.
You know, on one, so like one of the big differences is Twitter 140 characters for most of the time, was 280 for a little bit, and then X, like, there is no character limit anymore. I'm curious to see if Nico agrees. Is Twitter below X?
It's so difficult, you know, because, like...
I would generally say yes, just for the fact that X has, because of its intense monetization goals, has kind of forced it to prioritize engagement farming, and because of that, there isn't, like, as high quality of a standard for posting nowadays, mostly just because people are just doing, like, rage bait bullshit or just reposting stuff just to get farm engagement and get money, and that wasn't a thing in regular Twitter where people are posting just to post stuff.
I'm gonna pull up a massive counter argument. Community notes as a feature on X and not Twitter.
I do like community notes a lot, but I don't know if they pull it up that much.
It's tough because, like, you know, one of the other major differences is that X has much looser moderation.
I think you need. I think because it's like a transparent image or some shit like that. You might have to like be grabbing it by the black and not any of the white space at all.
Oh no! Oh my god. Okay, so like one of the big differences is, you know, X is much looser moderation. It's a much more free speech platform. You know, they allow a lot more content. Damn, I am realizing the porn has erupted on X versus
There's an
Twitter.
absurd amount of porn on Twitter, and that's all I use it for.
Yeah, the coomerism on X is dire. You can click on any post. It can be the most non-sexual post imaginable, and there will be girls in the comments
advertising
with their
that
tits
pussy
out
in that bio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's funny is I'll see these porn girls and, like, you know, they'll have themselves scantily clad in their profile picture, but then they'll engage with these political posts, and it won't be, you know, the blatantly obviously like, oh, click on my profile or whatever. It will be like an actual opinion on the content of the post, and they're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna post this, and then people will be like, oh yeah, I agree with that take, and then they go, oh, look at that profile picture, and then they you know, click on the thing. I kind of want to go Twitter below average. Well, I don't know. The 140 character limit really, you know, forced people to be, you know, a bit more clever with what they were saying. Twitter obviously has all of Trump's, you know, most banger tweets. I kind of think if I had to phrase it, it's like X has more extremes. Like, there's more extremely dumb shit on X, but there's also more people, you know, typing up their entire PhD thesis exclusively on X.
It's just so hard. I say that we just throw them in the
tough.
same fucking thing, okay? I feel like they're balancing each other out here quite a bit.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree. Are they... I don't think they're massively one way or the other. I think it's either slightly below average or slightly above.
I'd say slightly above.
I think I'd probably agree. Like, I kind of want to go, like, Like,
Honestly, I feel like it's a slight step above Instagram, because Instagram is such a basic ass regular person social media. So Twitter is obviously that as well, but just slightly more.
Yeah,
or slightly
I think
less.
I agree with that as well. How do you feel about that placement,
I think that
Nico?
should be fine.
Threads. This is the Facebook-owned thing that it was kind of like Mastodon, where like Elon bought it, and then Facebook quickly threw together Threads to catch people that wanted to get away from Elon. I think this one's pretty dumb, because like it is people on there. Literally, most of the posts on Threads are people talking about how like Twitter is gonna die any second now.
Yeah, I think just the fact that it's the regular Instagram audience, for one, is the people that moved over towards it because they didn't want to use Twitter in the first place. And then they stuck around, even though it like got no new features or anything. It's super fucking bare bones still. There really isn't a whole ton of reason to use it over Twitter. It's just pretty dumb in and of itself.
I think it's kind of on par with Reddit, to be honest.
I would agree.
I think it's the exact same kind of people that are using both sites, especially.
I'm gonna be honest, I have zero conception on who the fuck even uses Threads.
I don't like Threads because I get
literally
notified on it. I get notifications in Instagram. That shit pisses me off.
It's literally just hyperlibs that like didn't like Elon buying Twitter. I think I'm pretty sure Threads came out like in like the week or two surrounding Donald Trump getting unbanned on Twitter, and that's when it got most of its audience. Let's do a funny one. WeChat. This is the big Chinese social media
same
site.
tier as iFunny.
Really? But they're Chinese. They're so smart.
I would disagree, just because WeChat is just a generic ass messaging service for like the entire fucking world except for America. Like, people in Europe use WeChat, people in China use WeChat, everyone uses fucking WeChat except for us, basically. Like, it's the standard because we don't have SMS. I think it's just like dead average. It's just a messaging platform. There's nothing more to it.
Well, you said it's a messaging platform for the rest of the world, so it has to be in the bottom half.
Well, sure, I'll put it slightly above Reddit.
Yikes.
There we go.
Yeah, I'd say a Chinaman is slightly smarter than Reddit.
And speaking of slightly smarter than Reddit, how about 4chan?
145, perfect peak IQers.
You know, Nico, I hear you talk about this all the time. I have no clue what If you showed me a 4chan post and asked me what site it was from, I probably couldn't
It's
tell
filled
you.
with hackers, dude.
4chan is tough to get a grasp on. I think it's pretty definitively the funniest social media of these. It comes up with the best memes. Some of the shit, like, you know, legitimately convincing mainstream media to, like, label, you know, the OK sign or Pepe the Frog as white supremacist symbols is, like, god-tier trolling.
They've got some fucking quants on there, too, you know? The whole Shia LaBeouf flag thing was fucking hilarious. I was gonna
bring that the fuck up.
They've got all sorts of people that, like, you'll just post some random insanely hard problem and some autistic guy will fucking figure it out pretty quickly. But it's also offset a lot by the massive amounts of tranny porn and just general porn in general, and that's basically what, like, 90% of the average site user is on there for.
Yeah, and people, you know, making their green text about, you know, how sex with their sister is actually cool or whatever.
Yeah, for every good green text, there's 1,000 that are total dog shit.
So is this why I don't understand, like, 90% of the memes you guys post about is because I don't use 4chan?
None of us use 4chan.
Is this the reason I don't understand memes?
Do you remember, Dylan, maybe, like, 2 decades ago, when scientists started talking about the existence of a God particle? Which was a particle from which that can, like, spew forth matter.
I do remember that. I was gonna make a joke of I couldn't remember yesterday. Why would I remember 2 decades ago? But go on.
But 4chan is like that. It's like a god particle of the internet. It is spewing out a lot of the memes we consume, and yet very few people have actually seen it or even believe it exists.
Gotcha.
I'm kind of... I'm kind of feeling like leaving them right here.
It's just so hard, man.
Yeah, the fucking balance between total retards and like super autistic quants on it is a fine line. I think it's funny to put it there,
Yeah,
so I'd
sure,
agree.
why not?
Fair enough. Let's do the 4chan ripoff Miiverse.
Dude, I think that Miiverse might just be one of the smartest social media sites we have on here.
There's a lot of really weirdly talented artists on Miiverse, I'll say.
Yeah, and also, like, because Miiverse is, like, you know, it's on the whole Nintendo bullshit or whatever, there's a lot more censoring that goes on, so people have to be very creative with it, too.
Gotcha.
That's fair enough. I kind of see it as being on par with YouTube.
I didn't even know this was a social... I thought... I looked at this and thought this was like the application inside the Wii. I didn't think this was a social media site.
Yeah, it is.
This makes even less sense to me then.
You can post on there and interact with people.
I've never done that, so I guess
You
I
can,
never
yeah,
knew.
post, dude.
You could say words, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna understand.
Jackson, do you have much of an opinion on Miiverse?
I don't know anything about this. I do like the memes that popped up when they disabled likes on Twitter, or they disabled seeing likes on Twitter, and everyone's just replying with the fucking Miiverse emotes. I think it's funny. I have nothing to add.
Where do you think it should go,
Sure,
Nico?
let's put it at the same tier as YouTube, why not?
Fair enough. Let's do fucking Nextdoor. Are you guys familiar with this one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sounds
yeah.
like a person you need a babysitter and you message them and they're your neighbor or something.
It's basically a social media that is segmented by neighborhood. So like your posts go out to and are read by the people who like live around you. My perception of it is that it's worse than Facebook.
It's
That sounds rather
really
scary.
fucking bad. People are actually like mentally ill on this website. So I used it briefly when Lilac escaped, initially, and I was posting on there trying to, get people in the neighborhood to help me find my cat, right? And actually it did end up working. I found that random cat that I fucking found. I found the owner of that cat on Nextdoor, and then also people have reached out to me from Nextdoor to help out with the cat too. So it ended up working for that, but whenever I looked at other posts, I can't remember any specific examples of them at this point. It's been a couple of years now, but they were just the most ridiculously dumb shit ever. Like it doesn't even make sense how people can be so fucking stupid. It's crazy.
I remember when I was going door to door, working on the Governor Abbott campaign. And this guy was telling me, dude, you should join my Nextdoor politics group. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, I've got 145 people in there. And I'm just thinking in my mind, God.
Yikes.
I want to put it below Facebook. Does anyone really
No.
object to that one?
No.
No, it's so
Is it
bad.
below iFunny?
Probably not.
I think I will say yes, actually, and my argument is that the primary audience for iFunny are literal children, and the audience for Nextdoor, the people that use it, are boomers and late millennials, and they should
It's
know
supposed to
better
be like
at this
people who
point.
live in
Yeah.
homes.
Yeah, they should fucking know better at this point. There's no excuse for them to be so stupid nowadays. The
Yeah,
kids
the kids
can
have
evolve.
potential still.
Gotcha, I see.
Okay, we're gonna put Nextdoor at the fucking bottom then.
There we go.
It's gonna be the 0 IQ motherfuckers. They're in a vegetative state. Let's do the girl sites I have on here. So Pinterest.
I don't know, Pinterest is pretty cool. I used to get a lot of recipes from there when I was super into cooking. That's kind of it.
It's a little fruity.
What's the average IQ of a woman? Put it at
Yeah.
that.
Jesus Christ. What's a little fruity? Is cooking fruity, Tanner? Is that
Yes.
what you're trying to say? Shut
Yeah.
up, Nico.
Don't get me wrong. I cook a lot. This week I decided to make some elote, and I was like, hey, I'm not even gonna look up the ingredients. I'm just gonna imagine what it looks like in my mind and guess what the ingredients are, and I fucking nailed it, Other than
Nice.
stuff that we literally didn't have at home, I was exactly able to tell what the ingredients are. So I'm a bit of a cookist.
Good on you, Tanner.
I think it's probably dead average, just because, like, Pinterest is, like, the most basic of the basic. This is like, oh, my fucking mom uses this,
Probably a safe bet.
This is like the people who haven't lost their minds enough to go to Facebook yet,
Yeah, I guess I can agree with that. I don't know, like on the
Matter of
same
fact,
tier as
like-
Reddit, I guess.
I think I'd just put it like dead center,
Sure.
honestly.
Yeah, I kind of agree with dead center. Matter of fact, like, do any of our moms not use Pinterest?
I don't think my mom does.
Really?
My mom definitely does, and my sister as well.
My mom
Right.
doesn't, and I don't think my sister does either. Either of them.
And then the other girl site I have on here, Tumblr.
That's just an autistic person site.
Yeah,
That's not a woman's site.
fucking put that like between Kick and Pornhub. Yeah.
Really?
But autists are kind of smart, though.
Oh, Tumblr. I don't. I've always heard people like dunk on this and joke about it, so I don't.
When I think of Tumblr, I just think of societal rejects, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what I think of, to be honest. Knowing
I do
nothing
think that
about it.
Tumblr is the origin point of a lot of society's ills, but I kind of don't judge them that harshly for it, weirdly enough. I don't know. I guess, like, are really expansive pop culture erotic fan fictions intelligent or low intelligent coded?
Anything Kuma related is low intelligence.
That's fair enough. I kind of want to put
It's
it on the same
absolutely not, dude.
tier
It's
as
not.
Reddit. You don't?
It's way low, I think. Maybe between like N hentai and
I don't know.
Pornhub.
Between
Yeah.
hentai and Pornhub?
Makes sense to me.
I
guess.
don't think Tumblr is on par with Discord,
Do you think it's better or higher? Or lower or higher?
I think it's a little worse than Discord if we're going low.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
That's a killer spot.
Okay.
The cesspool, if you will.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do Twitch.
I think that's about 50-50.
If we were to ignore IRL streams and titty streamers entirely, I think Twitch would be reasonably
I hard
intelligent.
disagree.
I would hard disagree as well. I think just the fact that people are going into these, like, if you're talking to a smaller streamer, a couple hundred viewers maybe, I could see some justification for it
Okay.
there, but like anything above like 1,000 viewers, there's so much shit going on in the chat. The streamer's not paying attention to you at all 99% of the time. They're just talking to the fucking void. They're just like really lonely, desperate people,
Yeah.
and it's really sad. And it's so common.
some
like
of them have
you go into a stream
families.
with like. I mean, yeah, but you go into a stream with like 10,000 fucking viewers and you're talking to the chat. You're just talking to the fucking void. What's the point? And it's so many
I don't
people
know.
that do this. Why?
I don't think so. And even just the people who do fucking comment in general, it's just the most low IQ things possible. Because, like, obviously, they can't really, like, type out anything that's, like, super complex or whatever the fuck. Because there's zero way the streamer will actually read at that point. Especially, they can't make it too long, because obviously the streamer won't read at that point either. So it's all just very mind-numbing observations that they're making. Or they're just parroting the same joke that some other person made. And they're all just fucking joining the whole crew at that point.
Damn, you
True.
convinced me. Okay, so is it slightly below, on par, or slightly above Kick?
I don't know if I'd go that far. I think I'd put it around Snapchat, like in between Snapchat and LinkedIn,
Yeah.
maybe myself.
I
Okay.
agree with that.
Okay.
Because there is, of course, that percentile of people that do just use it to like talk to, smaller streamers or something, like a smaller content creator you enjoy
Yeah.
watching with and talking to. I think that's fine.
I
We
was
got
gonna
the
say-
speedrunners on there. Those guys are quants.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do Rumble, I guess.
Put it right next to Truth.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think it's slightly above truth.
Sure.
Well, then put it slightly above truth. I don't really have much of an opinion. I just kind of lump the fucking people that use conservative social media in the same category.
Fair enough. Slap it right there. Nico, choose
Quora.
one. So Quora is an interesting one. Because you have
AI
a mix.
now. It's just AI posting questions and then AI replying to the questions.
That, and also I was just gonna say it's because you have people asking the dumbest questions imaginable, and then, like, people providing pretty reasonably intelligent answers.
You see, the problem with Quora is I've only ever looked at it when I myself have had, like, a question, and that, like, you know, just Google spits out a fucking Quora link of someone else who's asked the exact same fucking thing. And that's about where my interactions with it have ended. From what I've heard through the grapevine, Quora is also super racist, allegedly, but, like... I really have no first-hand experience with that. I don't know, you guys want to fucking toss in the middle?
I kind of want to go just dead average. Yeah.
Fair enough,
there's a lot of ripe dumb fucks on that site, but it's just kind of like, I mean, it's like fucking Ask Jeeves for the slightly more tech literate.
Yeah.
Also, its UI is total trash. Holy shit, it's so bad. It's been so bad for so long, too.
It's so fucking old. Let's do WhatsApp.
What's
This
that?
is the real, like, messaging thing that the rest of the world uses, but not us. You see, Dylan, sending... I don't know exactly what the deal is. I assume what it is that cellular plans are so insanely expensive in every other country that isn't America that they all just use messaging apps that let you message via internet.
Yeah, I know. I was making a pun, Tanner.
Oh.
It's okay. I have, in fact, used WhatsApp for a very brief moment of time, and I don't remember why. I think I was trying to talk to somebody who didn't have a phone plan or something.
I put it slightly below
Yeah,
WeChat.
sure.
Works for me.
Yeah.
It's pretty inoffensive, but I think the average WhatsApp user is dumber than the average WeChat user.
I agree, because WeChat is mostly Asians and WhatsApp is mostly Europeans.
Yeah, Europeans and South Americans.
I might lower it a bit.
Not my bad.
Whoa.
Let's get back to the immigration topic
Alright,
here for a
finally
second.
capping us off here, Skype.
You have to be a dumbass to use fucking Skype.
I don't know.
Skype was just Discord back in the day, and now
Yeah.
there's literally no reason to use it over Discord. So it,
Yeah, I think it's just scammers at this point.
Put it
Yeah.
below Discord.
True. Below Discord. Fuck, should I have had Zoom on here?
I don't think so.
do
I don't
people use
think
that as a
that's
social media? I thought it was literally just for like meeting.
I also don't think Skype
really.
is social media, but that's just me. I guess it's a messaging system. and we
It's
have plenty
definitely
of
far
those.
more of a messaging app than
I
Discord.
got a bit
Discord's far
loose
more
with social
open.
media, to be
I
sure.
can tell.
I'm gonna put I'm gonna have it slightly above Pornhub. It's about on par with Tumblr, I guess, is where I'm landing it.
Okay.
There you go, guys. Unsurprisingly, most of these ended up in the bottom half of the IQ chart.
Who could have
but,
guessed it?
You know, if you're really trying to find a social media site that will boost your brain power, now you know how. Or if you want to, you know, dumb max yourself.
Yeah. Tanner,
there
go
you
ahead and screenshot this, post on Data is Beautiful, and see how many updates you can rack up.
That would be very funny.
Or if any of you guys want to prove us wrong, feel free to have your fill of each of these social media sites and come back to us with your evidence.
That's right,
I
Dylan.
suppose.
Good idea. Let's really boost the engagement here.
There we go. We'll find out where you each belong, you degenerates.
And with that, I believe that is the ranking in the bag there. And so, I think it's finally time. We've been avoiding it long enough. I guess we have to fucking do it. You know, we kind of have a bit of an obligation. Let's go to Guapish at the movies.
Guapish at the movies!
Baby, you're a firework! Make it go, oh, oh, oh!
That the wrong fireworks, my guy, but I
Jackson,
appreciate
what did we
it, I
watch
guess.
this week?
Our Patreon request this week was the 2000 film Castaway, as requested by Grapeseed Oil.
That's right, guys. This week we watched Castaway, featuring one Tom Hanks. Castaway is all about this FedEx worker who goes on a plane. The plane crashes. He's on an island for 4 years, and he comes back, and his wife left him. The end.
His wife didn't leave him. He left his wife, and she found somebody else.
My
Anyway.
haiku as inspired by Castaway. DEI pilot crashes Boeing package plane. Wife most affected. How'd you guys like Castaway?
It was
I
pretty
thought it was
alright.
alright.
Ringing endorsement.
When I watch a movie like this, I want to see some fucking MacGyver machinations at work, not a guy just going crazy in a cave. I want to see some cool shit. This was too fucking realistic, probably.
I
It's
guess.
a very, very despair-filled movie. It really has quite a bleak look on things, basically all the time.
I mean, it all works out for him in the end, so I don't think it's too off League Jackson.
It's pretty bleak.
But he lives in the end.
It's pretty bleak.
Okay.
So I really liked this one.
Really liked
Tom
it.
Hanks. Yes, I really liked it. Tom Hanks, good actor, yada yada. Funnily enough, I actually enjoyed the off the island drama more, and I kind of wish they explored that a lot more in this movie. And I thought something that kind of impressed me, just in terms of like story writing, is I think it was an incredibly good choice on their part. That while he was trapped on the island, they weren't like doing, cuts to what is happening on the mainland. We're allowed to just sort of speculate on that as we're watching Tom Hanks survive, and then we get it's a more organic feeling to us, the audience, of what the drama he's going through is once he makes it back.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it definitely felt like it suffered from that sort of same issues as from The Martian, where anytime any sort of a problem arose, he just kind of immediately figured out how to solve it outside of figuring how to fucking get off the island, I guess. I don't know, it kind of makes me wish that there were more stakes throughout the film, just more dire consequences being had. Maybe one of the other people did survive with him and they die pretty early on in their time there to really make it feel like it's a really dangerous situation he's found himself in.
I wish there was more hijinks on the island just in general, because we see him, set up an insanely basic kind of shelter. We see him inhabit the cave for a second, and then there's a big time skip, and then he just makes a boat and he leaves. I feel like it honestly feels like the time on the island itself was barely part of the movie, like some Life of Pi shit.
Yeah.
And when I watched the movie, I was hoping that it was primarily just hijinks on the island, but it was not really that. It was a pretty even split, I feel like, between island stuff and pre and post island. Which is just not what I was looking for in the movie. I'm not saying it's necessarily bad, but, I wished for more island stuff on Castaway.
I guess that's all we have to say about the movie then.
I suppose so, I guess.
Yeah, fucking apparently. Okay.
Tanner, what are you ranking this one?
I'm gonna go A.
I'm gonna give Castaway a C+.
C+ is crazy. I didn't sound like I was super positive on this movie, but I think it's pretty good. I feel like the cinematography, some things were pretty well done. I actually do really like how bleak and realistic, frankly, how they treated him at the end of it, because that's really just what would fucking happen. It was just a bunch of news people in his face. His ex-wife had already moved on. There was the drama around that. It was some pretty real shit, and I appreciated that. I actually gave this movie an A- personally.
Whoa.
And I'm falling in between all of you. I'm giving it a B.
Womp womp.
You gave it a C+, Dylan?
Yes.
And that landed at a B+ overall.
Whoa.
Let's
Holy
go.
cow.
Very exciting. And speaking of exciting, not this film, that being the 2017 movie Fireworks, which is what I picked. I have wanted to watch this movie since 2017 because I really like the song by the same name from Daoko and Kenshi Yonezu.
Hell yeah.
Unfortunately, this movie has been pretty lambasted at this point about just being some really generic, kind of dumb movie. I would agree for the most part. We've got a kid who likes some girl and they're in high school, and she finds some time machine ball thing, and the kid uses it to fix situations in which he would be able to get separated from the girl so that they can fall in love. and it's kind of just like a generic love story with like that weird time traveling twist going on. Not a whole ton to grasp here, to be completely honest.
My haiku, as inspired by fireworks. Time traveling teens trying to elope away. What was the ending?
I can't not remember. What the fuck was the ending?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They fell in love?
I don't remember the ending either. It's very funny.
I think they ended up together. I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, my first note that I have for this one is I've already completely forgotten this film. My brain has blanked it out. I know there was time travel. I know there was a girl and a boy. It's just fine. I wish there was kind of a stronger moral or message at the end. Like, I don't think they really drove home the point that, hey, running away from your parents as a child is a bad idea.
Especially when your plan is to sell yourself into sex work.
Yeah.
Fair enough, dude.
Yeah, this movie, I think the funny thing about this movie, too, is this is a Shaft production, and Shaft likes to do creative stuff with their camera work and just general cinematography as an approach. And this movie definitely has that Shaft charm to it. They've got a lot of pretty good-looking shots, I would say. But also, just generally, I feel like this movie is pretty low quality in its art and animation direction, which is pretty sad. Like, it kind of just looks like a regular anime production, bar a few better looking scenes that they did, which is pretty disappointing for me. This is just like an absurdly generic film.
Fair enough. I don't know, dude. I kind of would just say insert positive anime things here as far as my review goes.
Like what? That doesn't explain anything.
I mean, we always say like the animations. I mean, I thought the animation was pretty good for the most part. I don't know. The story was. It was short enough to where I was engaged to the movie. I wasn't super high on any of the movies this week, so I don't have a crazy opinion on any of them either way. So this movie was okay.
This movie does have a lot of like really weird like sexual assault bullshit going on. I don't know what the fuck's up with that. I mean, like they're high school kids, whatever. Cut them some slack, but it's like still weird. Like why include that in the movie? It's not funny. It's just gross.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like the fucking guy getting on top of the desk. I don't even want to talk about it. It's fucking stupid. Why? It's stupid and pointless.
Didn't that stuff happen like back when you were in high school though, Jackson? One guys constantly talk about like how big the teacher's breasts were. Like it's realistic at the end of the day is what it really is.
Legitimately, I do not remember that, but maybe that's just because I don't remember having any hot teachers in high school.
Fair.
That does happen.
Well, yeah, I really have absolutely fucking nothing to say about this film either. This shit was probably one of the most forgettable films we've ever seen so far. Dylan, what are you ranking it?
I gave Fireworks a B+.
Insane, Jackson.
I gave it a flat C.
I also gave it a flat C.
I, on the other hand, gave it a C-.
There we go.
Because you're just a fucking hater.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, it lands at a C+ overall. Pretty generous, if I might add.
Potentially just a tad.
Yeah, and speaking of generous, we have Dylan's pick of the week and our last film of the week, that being the 2004 film The Phantom of the Opera.
Alright, so Phantom of the Opera is basically like these two dudes get ownership of this opera house. There's a guy that like lives in it or something. He requires like a salary and like a booth to always be open. He continues to like harm people and or kill people. He always wants to get his way. We get some sad backstory from one of the ladies who originally worked there to find out why he's all messed up. Then him and the other main protagonist guy end up fighting over the main girl to see who she goes out with. He starts to burn the opera house down, and they all make it out at some determinate point.
My haiku, as inspired by Phantom of the Opera, an opera attacked by a singing otaku. Why not just kill him?
Dylan, what'd you think about this one here?
I like the music.
I like the main song.
The Phantom of the
I think
Opera.
the main theme was cool. Yeah, no, it had like it really like those big, aggressive sounding tones to it. I think it was cool. I think that's literally the only thing I liked about this movie outside of like the set. The set was cool too. They did some good stuff with the set.
Yeah.
But other than that, I could not care less about this film at all.
I think I just appreciate the movie because of the music at a deeper level, because I have in fact played this arrangement before, and I really, really, really like the musical arrangement of this movie.
That's fair enough, dude. You know, it's not my genre.
No.
I appreciate this movie for what it is.
Yeah, it wasn't
I agree.
terrible,
The main
but...
theme I liked. The set pieces are pretty cool. I think the story is fine once I understood what was going on. I was decently bored throughout the movie.
Yeah, this movie's really fucking boring, actually. Like, I feel, honestly, I feel very bad for the main actress here, okay? Fucking Emmy Rossum, however the fuck you pronounce that. She has been in some terrible...
I feel bad for her because she's hot.
That, and also because she's been in some fucking terrible movies, okay? She's been in this, she was in The Day After Tomorrow, she was in Dragon Ball Evolution. This poor woman, okay? She just doesn't deserve that.
She does not know how to pick them. To be fair, like, wasn't this movie reasonably, like, critically acclaimed?
No, it has a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, not a great track record for her, it seems like, unfortunately.
Who'd she play in Dragon Ball Evolution?
She was Bulma.
I'm having a hard time remembering that movie.
Fair, honestly, though.
Yeah.
She doesn't have blue hair, so don't worry.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, this movie's generic. It's got a cool soundtrack and set, but it puts me to fucking sleep because it's a musical, and 90% of the lyrics are in the tone of song, and that kind of takes me out of the actual, like, immersion of the film, just because, you know, this shit's not really happening. They're fucking singing. It's kind of stupid. I can't take it seriously. And this movie is also, of course, filled with a ton of plot holes. Like, this movie wouldn't be an issue at all if they just fucking searched the goddamn place and found the fucking dude killing people and terrorizing this opera house. Like, this isn't that much of an issue. I
believe the implication is supposed to be that there are very long amounts of time passing between these incidents.
Regardless, I mean, the first incident should have incited police investigation to getting this fucking creepo out of the place and harassing and trying to extort money out of the owners.
They think
if this was in Florida, that squatter would be fucking dead.
Also, why the fuck didn't they, like, kill him or, like, have the police arrest him or whatever in the graveyard when they had him dead to rights?
Yeah, that guy literally fucking killed a person basically because of him.
Legitimately, I think it's because he needed to star in the opera they were putting on.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, so, you're talking about, like, the sword fight in the graveyard, right? I think the guy spared him because the opera they put on at the very end when he, grabs her and jumps down that hole, that's the opera that he himself wrote.
Why would they need him to be in it, though?
Because he wrote a part for himself.
He wrote a part for him. Why does that matter at all, Tanner?
I know, right? No, I agree with you. It's kind of stupid, but also, like, the guy attacking him was also one of the performers. So I think it's just kind of like, yeah, he was like, damn, we do... I think his plan was just like, okay, we're gonna let him perform the opera we still need to put on, and then the police will arrest him immediately after the show. I genuinely think that's what we're supposed to walk away from it thinking.
I don't agree that is probably what they meant, but if it is, that is... I really just don't know what to fucking say to that.
Maybe, it's just that you didn't want to kill someone, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, Dylan, do you have anything else you want to say about this one?
Did watching it with your sister add to it at all? Because I'm assuming because she wanted to watch this, she was really into this film. Did you catch any of that energy?
Asleep.
That's fucking sad. Never mind.
She's seen the movie like 8 times, though, so...
Okay.
Well, fair enough.
Does she sing along with the songs or anything?
A little bit.
Okay.
She's super into, like, Broadway musicals and stuff, too, though, so...
I see.
I'll rank this one first. I gave this one a C+.
Holy shit, I also gave it a C+.
No way, I also gave it a C+. Dylan, what about you?
How did you guys all rank it higher than me?
What do you mean?
I ranked it a C.
Crazy.
Because we have objective rankings and you have dejective rankings. Anyways, that puts it at a C+ overall, unsurprisingly. Same tier as Fireworks. I don't know if I agree with that, but, you know, it is what it is.
What do you think's worse, Jackson? You have to
I think Fireworks is worse. There's at least something to grasp onto at the Phantom of the Opera. Fireworks is like, literally forgot the fucking ending of the movie.
What does happen at the end of that movie?
What does?
The girl disappears into the firework water, and then he, like, grabs, like, the memory or whatever or something. I don't know.
See, he doesn't
Bro said, I don't know, he doesn't even know. Anyways.
I threw out an idea, I'm like you guys.
Yeah, I remember them going into the water, and everything after that was a blur. Wow, what amazing movies we watched this week. What are we picking?
Hopefully some significantly better ones here. Holy smokes. I personally, I'm going to be picking The Social Network.
Interesting. Well, guys, it's the last week of Kung June.
Kung Fu Panda?
No.
Aw.
I'm sorry, guys. We already watched a Jackie Chan film. I want to get one more iconic... what are you looking at me like that for, Dylan? Do you not know that Jackie Chan is in Kung Fu Panda?
No.
Amateur hour. I want to get one more, like, iconic, Kung Fu actor out of the way, so I'm choosing a Bruce Lee film. We are doing... I believe it's the 1972 film Enter the Dragon.
That's my favorite Spyro game, personally. And Jackson, what about that Patreon, dude? Are we hopefully getting some peek out of that?
We're watching peek, all right. We are watching the 2018 film Slender Man, as requested by Lavaskin. Thank you for the Patreon request. Really rounding out this week with a banger.
Yeah, we've got a very interesting week here, it looks like.
Yikes, dude, this is gonna be
And
rough.
if you too would like to request a movie on the Patreon, Jackson's gonna tell you all about how you can do that.
Stop it. Stop making me do it. I don't want to. Yeah, if you subscribe to our Patreon for $1 a month, you get access to our pre-show, the pre-guap. You get early access to episodes sometimes. You get access to our Discord where you can talk to us, request movies, and request topics. You also can use our slime bot, and you get 500 free slime coins for that. You also get your name read out like the following people. That being... Swayed by Jay, Blake, Nedigant, Uranium Infused Motor Skills, Top Ramen Man, Joshua Bean, Smegma Smoothie, Tutbot, Lucas Ledette, Hunter, and Jacob Edwards. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching. And as always, we don't really have like an as always sort of like sign off thing
you're
here.
just
but,
ripping that off of Wendigo.
Yeah.
This is so sad.
Let's just do his.
Yeah, as always, thank you very much for watching. Bye!